Okay, welcome to the virtual college exploration for all California students, sponsored by the College2Career Fairs and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. Attendees can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your question to our presenter at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the presenter and I cannot see you or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to check out the full schedule at college2careerfairsconnect.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at the same website, college2careerfairsconnect.org. And I would now like to turn it over to our presenter.
All right, thank you. I am going to share my screen with you. So everybody should be able to see my screen. My name is Matt Allen. I am the Director of Admissions at the University of Montana Western. We're located in Dillon, Montana, which is in the southwest corner of Montana. We're a smaller institution and more of a rural setting. So our student population is typically from 12 to 1,300 students any given year. And Dillon itself is only in a town about 5,000 people. So definitely more of a rural setting. But the nice thing about Montana is that it's pretty easy to get to some of the bigger populated places. To kind of show you where we're located in Montana, let me get my slides working here. Here's a map of Montana. So as you can see, Dillon is in the southwest corner. We're only 45 minutes south of Butte, Montana, only about an hour and a half away from Bozeman, about 2 hours away from Missoula. But the great thing about our location, we're in a beautiful location. We're located in the Beaverhead Valley. We're surrounded by 7 different mountain ranges. The Beaverhead River runs right through town. If you're into the outdoors at all, you are absolutely going to love coming to school at Montana Western. We are literally minutes from hunting, fishing, camping, hiking, skiing, snowboarding. There's 3 blue ribbon trout streams that are less than 20 minutes from campus, 3 hot springs that are close by. So really endless outdoor opportunities, but we are a 4-year public institution, so we try and have a lot of different activities available for our students on campus, and I'll kind of touch on those a little bit later in the presentation. The first thing I really want to highlight about Montana Western is that even though we're a 4-year public institution, we are a very different type of institution. We are the only public institution in the country that operates on a block schedule, and we call our program Experience One or X1. So anytime you're communicating with the university and you're hearing us refer to Experience One or X1, we're talking about our block scheduling model and kind of and how that works. But to kind of show you a little bit more information about how it works, instead of a normal semester-based system, what we do is we break our semesters into 4 3.5-week blocks. And then what students do for 3.5 weeks is they take 1 course at a time. So all they have to do is focus on 1 subject. They have homework in 1 area. They have 1 professor to communicate with. And why we do this is we want to focus on experiential education. We want students to learn by actually experiencing things in the classroom and in the field and learning by doing. We really want to eliminate that lecture style of higher education. The whole point of going to college, of course, is that you're looking to get a great job when you graduate, or you're looking to go on to a graduate level program. When it comes time for you to take those steps, what we don't want to happen is for you to reflect on your college education going, I spent a lot of my time sitting in a classroom hearing and reading about things. So like I say, that's the big advantage of the block system. Our goal is that we want students to graduate with 2 to 3 years of experience in their field of study. So that way, when they apply for that first job, when they apply to grad school, they have 2 to 3 years of experience that they can put on a resume, that they can put on a graduate school application to show that they are better prepared and more suited for that position. Now, how we accomplish this is students at Montana Western, they go to class Monday through Friday, so they go 5 days a week, and they'll either have a morning or an afternoon class. They won't have both. Students in morning classes will go to class from 8:15 to 11:15. Afternoon classes run from 12:15 to 3:15. But that's a student schedule for 3.5 weeks. When that 3.5 weeks is over, they're finished with that class. They don't have to worry about it anymore. And then they move on to their next course. Before they move on to their next course, though, they do get what's called a block break. Most courses will start on a Monday. Most classes end on a Wednesday. So what's nice is when you're finished with that class, you're going to get that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off to kind of relax, recharge your battery before you jump into your next course. So as a student at Montana Western, a really nice thing is every 3.5 weeks, you get a 4-day weekend. Always something to look forward to. A big question that we usually get asked at Montana Western is, this sounds amazing, but does this mean I'm going to have to go to school longer? And the answer is no. You can notice on the presentation that our block courses are worth 4 academic credits each instead of the traditional 3 credit mark that you see at a lot of institutions. So just by taking those 4 courses in a semester, you're taking 16 credits. You're averaging 32 credits for the academic year, which is keeping you on track to graduate in that normal 4-year time period. And then this just kind of shows you versus that traditional semester-based system where you're taking multiple classes all together at the same time, juggling multiple professors, having less time in class, maybe for some special projects, and sometimes even taking more classes for less credits. Like I said, in the block, you can be taking 4 credit courses and be at 16 credits. Well, in a traditional semester, you might be taking 5 3-credit classes and only be at 15 credits. Some of the advantages of the block program is it truly simplifies your schedule. Students at Montana Western never go home at night going, I gotta do my math homework, I gotta do my history homework, waking up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night going, oh, I completely forgot I have an English chapter I was supposed to read for tomorrow, because all they have is homework in one area. That's all they have to focus on. They're not taking 2 difficult classes and 2 gen ed courses, an elective class, all together at the same time. 100% of their attention can go towards the class that they're taking. Students are learning from one professor at a time. They're not having to go, this professor likes APA citation, this professor likes MLA citation. They're not having to communicate with 5, 6, 7 different professors throughout the entire semester. Students have one professor. The nice thing is our professors teach one course at a time. So if you have a question after class, the professor doesn't have another class that they have to go teach in 15 minutes. Your class is the only class that they're focused on. Another really great thing about our professors is that we don't have any TAs or graduate assistants. You're only taught by professors here at Montana Western. And since 2009, we've had 3 Carnegie Foundation Professors of the Year. So you're learning from some of the top professors in their fields of study. The last kind of part of this slide should make everybody want to come to school, Montana Western. We don't have finals week. That last week of the semester, you're not going to have 5 tests and 3 presentations all due at the same time. You take your finals one at a time, just like you do your courses. And a lot of times you may not have a final paper or final test, because you get so much field experience. Sometimes you'll have some sort of presentation to present on of a project or an experience that you had throughout the semester, or the course, not the semester. This just shows you the schedule itself and how it might be more simplified than a traditional model. In a traditional model, you might have a class for an hour, have an hour off, go back to class, maybe have an afternoon or an evening course, and your Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays are different than your Tuesdays and Thursdays. Where in the block, like I said, you're either in class in the morning or in the afternoon. So say that you come in and you're a business major, and the very first class that you're taking is a gen ed history course, and it's in the morning. So for the first 3.5 weeks that you're in school, you have class from 8:15 to 11:15. The rest of the days to do whatever you need to get done. Excuse me. And so what's nice is that you can focus on homework, study groups, clubs, intramural sports, athletics, work. A lot of students will work today to help pay to go to school. The great thing about the block program is that it allows our students to actually work, a 3, 4, 5-hour shift because they don't have 4 different classes that are starting at all different times throughout that day. So it allows for some pretty unique opportunities, but that's what you do for 3.5 weeks. When that 3.5 weeks is over, you're finished with that gen ed course. And so your next class is a business class and it's in the afternoon. So for the next 3.5 weeks that you're in class, you have class from 12:15 to 3:15, but now your mornings are open. So it really does simplify your schedule. Another advantage is the flexibility that you have with your schedule, especially in today's crazy world when we're dealing with COVID and fires and all these different things. The flexibility of the block system allows students some freedom to kind of personalize their schedule. Say that you're getting ready to come to Montana Western and something comes up that's going to delay your ability to come to campus for a couple weeks. In a traditional model, you might have to miss that entire semester. Well, in the block, you could simply take the first block of the semester off, miss that 3.5 weeks, come in for block 2, still pass 3 classes for 12 credits, but you didn't miss an entire semester because you were delayed. Every year we have a handful of students that do this because their summer job is fighting fires. And as you well know, fire season sometimes can run a little bit long, but this allows students to actually take that first block off, make some extra money, and provide a necessary service to help put the fires out. You can also do this mid-semester. Say you're halfway through a semester and you need to go back home for a little bit of time. You could take block 3 off. You have that flexibility in your schedule. Also, if you're changing your major, you always have to the second day of a block class to add or withdraw or change a course. So if you're halfway through block 2 and you decide to change your major, you can change blocks 3 and 4 to be classes that are now going towards your new degree. So you're not wasting time, money, and effort on classes that aren't even counting towards graduation. Some of the things that we like to say, our classrooms look very different just because even though we're a four-year public institution, our average class size is 15 students. We cap our courses at 25. You're not going to be in a lecture hall with 15 or 50 plus students. You're going to have a lot of interaction with your classmates. You're going to have a lot of interaction with your professor, and you're really going to get to know people, which is a great thing. We like to say our classrooms are a lot more colorful just because we don't want you sitting in a classroom. We want you in the field. This is an environmental science class at Montana Western. They spent most of the semester in the field doing research, writing recommendations and reports, those reports going to the state and national level, but they were able to do that and then use that on their resume or their graduate school applications when they were finished with that class. Art students, imagine having 3.5 weeks just to focus on your art project without having to worry about other classes. This is a picture of our glass blowing studio. So we're one of a very few universities in the country that has a glass program with specializations in scientific and artistic glass blowing. We also have a natural horsemanship and equine science program. So instead of sitting in a classroom hearing and reading about horses or watching a video about it, our students are able to go to the equine center and actually work with horses, getting that hands-on experience. And then even classes like our education majors. You know, every single Friday, or most of the Fridays during our normal school year, we have what are called Rural Fridays, where we bus some of the smaller schools around the Dillon area to campus, or education majors are actually getting to teach students right on campus in our model classrooms. Of course, our ed majors also go out to other schools in Montana, and they actually get to get classroom experience that way, but there's tons of opportunities like this at Montana Western for our majors. Our classrooms can also take you all over the world. You can actually study abroad in the block. You can take a class from a Montana Western professor with other Montana Western students, but instead of sitting in Dillon for 3.5 weeks, you're studying in Japan, Greece, Turkey, the Galapagos Islands, Peru, Ireland. This is a class that recently studied abroad at Montana Western. It was a business class that was specifically focused on production. They went to Austria for 3.5 weeks, and they studied at Red Bull's production plant. They studied at BMW's production facility. As you can see, they also went skiing because we're in the Alps. You have to go skiing. But we usually have 2 to 4 classes that study abroad every single year. So students actually can visit multiple locations throughout their academic career if they would like. One of the big things that we say, it's about educating the entire person, not experiencing this, not experiencing sitting in a lecture hall with 50 to 100 students hearing and reading about things. We want you to actively experience your education. And the scary thing sometimes about visualizing yourself in a situation is you may not know if you're going to like it or not until you actually get to do it. And at some colleges and universities, you really don't get to experience those things until you get to your internship or student teaching, which is your senior year. I'm a perfect example of that. I did my undergraduate degree at Montana Western. When I first came in, I was an English major. I was studying professional communications because I thought I wanted to be a sports writer. Very quickly for me, I found out that that was like writing term papers for a living, so I didn't like that too much. I switched to education. I went into elementary education. Very first education class I took, I had to go into a first grade classroom and teach 21st graders. Very quickly found out that that wasn't for me either. So I switched to secondary education and found out I really like working with high school age students. All that happened though within my first year of attending Montana Western. So I didn't have to invest 80 credit hours into a degree and then 40 credit hours in another degree when I wasn't going to graduate with that degree and use it, or have to pay an extra year or two of tuition to get a degree that I did want. I was able to experience things, find out what my passion was, adjust my academic major early on without seriously affecting my graduation date. So the bottom line is students that do graduate from Montana Western truly do have a distinct advantage, because when you graduate from college, you're going to be competing against other students that have recently graduated from college, and they're going to have great GPAs. They're going to have strong internships. They're going to have extracurricular activities that they participated in. You can have that as well at Montana Western, but one of the big differences at Montana Western is that you can have 2 to 3 years of experience that that student doesn't have. And it really will allow you to showcase yourself and show that you're better suited for that position. So that was a really quick breakdown of the Experience One program and how we operate on our scheduling system here at Montana Western. I just want to remind everybody that if you do have questions, you can definitely enter those into the chat, and I'd be happy to answer those throughout the presentation. To see a list of our academic majors, you can see that on this slide here. So we also do offer associate degrees and certificate programs as well, but these are our four-year programs at Montana Western. And so for a smaller university, you can see that we do have a pretty diverse major offering. Most popular majors on campus, number one is education. We were founded as Montana's very first teacher education school. So it's our oldest and most successful program. Our education majors are all over the country. We're really known for producing teachers. But on top of that, we can do a lot of different majors. Business is a very popular major. And as you can see underneath business with the options and minors, you can see you can do some unique things with that. You can do small business management, health and fitness management, equine management. We even have a minor in farm and ranch operations and outdoor guide and wildlife outfitters management. So if you're looking to open up your own guide business or work in the guide industry, that's something really unique that you can do at Montana Western. Kinesiology, so sports medicine, health and human performance, things like that. Environmental sciences, our environmental science majors are really sought after because of how much field experience that they get. You know, they're going to Yellowstone National Park, they're in the field doing research. Our biology degree, we do a fantastic job of prepping students for med and vet school. And then, like I said earlier, we have GLASS. We have the university, or the nation's only four-year accredited degree in natural horsemanship. So a lot of different things that you can definitely do at Montana Western. Cost of attendance is another really big advantage of Montana Western. We are the most affordable four-year school in Montana. We really take pride in that. We want to remain affordable for our students. So you can always know, rest assured that coming to Montana Western, affordability is something that's very important to us. On this slide, you can see cost of attendance information. So you can see what the cost is for a resident, an out-of-state student, and a WUI student. So coming from out of state will first classify you as a non-resident, and you can see yearly tuition is just a little under $16,000. And like I said, this is yearly cost. This is not semester costs. The nice thing about Montana Western, though, is that we do participate in the Western Undergraduate Exchange Program, or the WUI Scholarship. At a lot of institutions, the WUI Scholarship is competitive. You have to apply for it. You have to meet certain academic requirements. It can be limited in the number that they award, or they're tied to certain programs. At Montana Western, we do not tie to any certain programs, and we don't have an application process for it. Any student that has a 3.0 cumulative GPA or higher will automatically receive WUI. And then instead of paying out-of-state tuition, students pay 150% of in-state tuition, which drops your yearly tuition here at Montana Western under $6,800. And so that's kind of unheard of, to be able to go out of state to an institution and pay less than $7,000 for your yearly tuition. With the WUI, as long as you maintain a 2.7 GPA as a current student, you can keep that scholarship up to 12 semesters. So up to 6 years, you can hold on to that. And another unique thing that we do with WUI at Montana Western is we allow you to stack scholarships. So if you're getting the WUI scholarship and you also get a $2,000 academic scholarship or an athletic scholarship, awesome. We're going to throw that on top of WUI, and we're going to bring your costs down even farther. You can see fees are a little over $1,200 for the academic year, and then room and board is a little over $7,200 for the academic year. So with your housing and meal plan, the nice thing about the housing process at Montana Western is that you will have complete control over that. So when it comes time to apply for housing, you actually will get to pick which resident hall you want to live in. You can actually see pictures of all the different rooms that are available, and you can select which room you want to be in. And then, of course, you'll even be able to select your roommate. So as crazy as it sounds, our housing application uses a software similar to Match.com, and it's going to let you know, hey, you're an 80% match with this student. You're a 20% match with this student. And so you actually can, when you're selecting roommates, you can see pictures of students, you can see their hobbies, you can see their majors, where they're coming from, and you can actually message students through that. You can say, hey, I see that we're a 90% match. We're both history majors. Do you want a room together? And then you can even start talking about, okay, what are you bringing? You know, so that way you can decide who's bringing what for your resident hall room. Meal plans at Montana Western, the nice thing is that we have a lot of options for food. Our mascot is the Bulldogs here, and so we have the big dog and little dog plan. What you see priced here is our more popular plan, which is the Little Dog plan. The Big Dog plan is going to probably be about $1,000 more, but with the Big Dog plan, you basically get unlimited access to our cafeteria. You can go as many times as you want, 3, 4, 5 times a day, and basically, like I said, unlimited access. With the Little Dog plan, you'll get 14 trips to our cafeteria in a week. And so when you're in our cafeteria, it's all you can eat. You can go back for seconds, hit the ice cream machine. Definitely you don't have to leave until you're full. And then with both plans, you'll get a flexible spending account. And so with the Big Dog plan, you get $100 that you can use at other locations on campus, like our Bark and Bite, which is like a little convenience store. They have mini pizzas, breakfast burritos, things like that. And also all the vending machines on campus accept those. And then with the Little Dog plan, you get $300 with that. And so, like I say, there are options for food. In our cafeteria, if you have a food allergy, we can accommodate for. If you are vegetarian, the nice thing also, if you're sick and can't get out of bed, arrangements can be made that food will be brought to you. If you have a field experience and you're studying in Yellowstone that day, if you let dining services know ahead of time, they'll make you a sack lunch to go. It's really hard to go hungry here. We have a farm to college program where a lot of our food products are from local Montana ranches and farms. We also have a greenhouse on campus that'll grow the produce that we use in our salad bar and things like that. So a lot of local fresh food as well. But the nice thing is that you can see on this that if you do get the WUI scholarship with tuition fees, room and board, your total cost of attendance is less than out-of-state tuition alone. And so, and like I say, with scholarships and some other help, we can bring that cost down even farther. I forgot to mention with housing, we do require all new students to live on campus at least for 1 year. After that, you can move off, or you can live on campus for all 4 years if you'd like. Ways that we can help bring cost of attendance down. Number one is we do the FAFSA program. So if you're submitting a free application for federal student aid, definitely make sure that you ask to have that information sent to Montana Western to see if you're eligible for grants, loans, work study, things of that nature. You can see that our priority deadline for the FAFSA is December 1st. Students, of course, can start submitting a 2021-2022 FAFSA today, October 1st. You don't have to get us your FAFSA by December 1st. That's just our priority deadline. So if you get that in by that deadline, you're definitely going to have preference and be one of the first FAFSAs that we award. We also do university scholarships. The nice thing about Montana Western is we have one scholarship application for the majority of our scholarships. The only scholarships that don't go through this process are the WUI, like I said, that's automatic, and then athletic scholarships. Athletic scholarships are handled through the coaches in the athletic department directly themselves. But all additional scholarships at Montana Western go through this one process. A scholarship application will go live on November 1st, and then the deadline for scholarships is January 15th. All you need to do is at least submit an application for admission and the scholarship application before that January 15th deadline, and that will get you considered for the additional Montana Western scholarships. Campus life, also a really important aspect of looking at a college or university. So like I say, a lot of outdoor opportunities at Montana Western, but we are also a 4-year public institution. So we've had concerts, we've had plays, comedians, game shows. We have clubs and organizations. We have clubs that are academic based. So if you're an education major, we have a club for that. If you're a business major, we have a club for that. And then we have a lot of fun clubs. We have a skiing and snowboarding club. We have a paranormal activities club if you want to go find ghosts for some reason. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if that's your cup of tea, you can definitely go find ghosts. So a lot of different clubs and organizations that students can be involved with. We also have intramural sports, and then we also have club sports. So while club sports aren't at the NAI level, like our competitive programs, you do compete against other institutions. We've had club wrestling, men's and women's rugby, equestrian, and it's pretty unique how obscure you can go with some of these club sports. One of our newest club sports, we actually have a lumberjack team. And so they go all over the Pacific Northwest competing in lumberjack competitions. So if you want to do lumberjack sports, we have that. If not, you live in a house with a wood burning stove. These are the friends you want to make because they'll chop wood for you. So, but yeah, so club sports. And what's really kind of cool about Montana Western is we really try and take an active interest to get you involved. A great example of that is that we have a program called Paw Prints for Success. So if you go to a basketball game, you'll swipe your student ID card and you actually will earn points for that. If you go to a play, if you go to an academic advising workshop, if you go to the tutoring center to learn or to study, you can actually swipe your student ID card and you're going to earn points. And then at the end of both fall and spring semester, we do auctions where you use those points and you bid on things like flat screen TVs, laptop computers, gaming devices, Montana Western gear, scholarships. We've auctioned off scholarships before. One of the more popular items in the spring auction is we always do the pick of the litter, with whoever bids on that and wins it can have the first pick of the resident hall rooms at next year. So, but the more involved you get, you can actually win some pretty cool prizes. We also have a lot of different student services. So we have a tutoring center on campus. We have a career services department that's here to help you find jobs as a student, or after you graduate, if you're having a difficult time finding a job, they can assist you with that. We have a trio support services department. We have disability services. So a lot of services in place to help students academically, to get connected on campus and make sure that you're being successful. So I mentioned earlier that we also do have athletics. So we are in the NAIA Frontier Conference that we compete in. For men, we have football, basketball, rodeo, cross country, track, and cheer. For women, same sports except volleyball instead of football. Our women's basketball team is the defending NAIA national champs. Football is usually ranked in the top 25 every single year. Our cross-country team qualified for nationals. Rodeo is usually 1 or 2 in the region every single year. So extremely competitive athletic programs. So if you're a student athlete, you can definitely contact our coaches. Their contact information is located on this slide. It's also located on our website. And then, or if you're just a student that wants to go to school with competitive athletic programs, that is something else that we have as well. So you can also just be a fan and enjoy watching competitive athletic programs. So some of the other information that I want to talk about also is how you can get admitted to Montana Western. So the nice thing about Montana Western is that we do operate on a rolling admissions policy. So we don't have any specific admissions deadlines. Like I said, we do have important deadlines like the scholarship deadline, our FAFSA priority deadlines. But with admissions, we can admit students all the way through an academic semester. And since we're on the block, we will continue to admit students into a semester. For example, right now we're in the fall 2020 semester. We're in the second block. We're still accepting applications for fall 2020 because students can still apply and get in for blocks 3 or 4. So, but in order to apply to Montana Western, it's a pretty easy process. First thing that you just need to do is submit an application for admission. You can do that on our homepage of our website, umwestern.edu. Just click on apply at the very top of the page in the red, and then it'll take you to our online application. If you need a printable application, of course, you can print that off of our website or we can mail you one. But that's the first step, is just submitting that application for admission. The nice thing about our application is it's not going to ask you for an essay or letters of recommendation. It's really straightforward. You can probably complete it in about 5 to 10 minutes. In order to submit our online application, you do have to pay a $30 application fee. So you'll do that when you submit the online application. If you submit a paper application, you can always pay that by check or later by calling the institution. Once we have your application for admission, then you just want to start sending in documentation to show that you're meeting admissions requirements. And so the documents that we need in order to get you admitted at Montana Western, first thing that we need is what's called a high school self-report form. We do not need a final official transcript until after you've graduated and all final grades are posted and a graduation date is showing. So you don't have to worry about sending us multiple transcripts. How we get your high school information early is through this self-report form. So you can print this off the website, or we will mail it to you when you apply. But basically, you'll fill out your GPA, your class rank, test score information if you have that, and then the classes that you've taken throughout your high school career, just so we can see that you're meeting high school equivalency, and we can see GPA and things like that. So another piece of information that you can send in is your ACT or SATs. Now, the nice thing about this year is that we are test optional. We do understand that some students are unable to take standardized tests because of the pandemic. So if you're unable to take the ACT or SAT, that's not a requirement, but we still like to list it because if you have an opportunity to take that test, or if you have taken the test, definitely send in your test scores, because it can help with some scholarship opportunities, and it can also help with placement into certain classes like math and writing. We need proof of immunization records. It is a Montana University System requirement that all students need to show that they've had 2 doses of the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccination. So basically, we just need some sort of documentation with your name on it, showing the 2 dates that you've received that vaccination. You can mail that, you can email that, you can fax that, but as long as we can clearly see your name on the document and those 2 dates, that will meet that requirement. Now, the nice thing is once we have all this information on the screen, that's when we're going to be able to make an admissions decision and get you admitted to Montana Western. Since we operate on a rolling admissions policy, our turnaround time is just basically how quickly you can send us this information. You know, if you were to apply next week, send us the necessary documentation by mid-October, you're going to get a letter of acceptance by mid-October. And then, like I say, the final thing that we need is your final official high school transcript showing a graduation date and your final grades. Optional material that you can always send in is if you've taken classes for college credit, you want to make sure that you send a transcript from whatever university is awarding you those credits so we can give you credit for those classes here at Montana Western. If you've taken any AP or IB courses and you took the exams with those classes, send in those exam scores because those can test you out of classes you may not need to take or also come in for college credit as well. So that's kind of a really quick breakdown of the University of Montana Western. I definitely wanted to leave some time if anybody had questions or, you know, like I said, if there's anything that you specifically maybe are looking for, you know, on our website or things like that. But I definitely can leave it open to some questions at this point in time. All right, I don't think we have any questions. Let's see. I'm gonna stop sharing that screen. I'll bring this over. I will also show you just kind of some information, some helpful information on our website. You know, it can be really easy to kind of show you how to navigate and see some important items on our website as well. So, of course, our homepage is just umwestern.edu, or if you just Google search the University of Montana Western, we're really easy to find here. So, like I said, you can always apply on any of our university pages by just clicking on apply at the top of the page. If you scroll down the page a little ways, this is where you can see some really helpful information. If you'd like to schedule a in-person or virtual visit, you can click on this link right here. The nice thing about Montana Western is that we are allowing students to visit campus if you'd like. And so if you'd like to try to schedule a campus visit to Montana Western, right here is where you can see the dates that we have campus visits available, and we have tours in the morning and the afternoon. So if you click on a date, you can select if you want the morning or afternoon tour. When you come for a campus tour, you will get a tour from a current Montana Western student. And then you also will have a one-on-one meeting with an admissions professional, either myself or somebody on my staff, where we'll kind of review your application status, more information about cost of attendance and financial aid, things like that. And then if you have an area of academic interest, we'll set up a one-on-one meeting with a professor in your field of study so you can hear more about that academic program. Of course, if you're not able to make it to Montana Western, but you want to schedule a Zoom or virtual visit, we can definitely do that. There's information about how you can set that up by just calling this toll-free number here. And then we can also, you feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email if you just have general questions. So that's how you kind of can arrange a campus visit. You can see more information about tuition and aid on this link here. So you can scroll down and you can see a lot of different helpful information. If you've never submitted a FAFSA before and you want to see a helpful step-by-step process, you can find that here. You can find more information about WUI, about our cost, scholarships. Like I said, our scholarship application will go live for seniors on November 1st, and that deadline is January 15th. But you can go to the scholarship page and see the type of scholarships that we offer. But you can see all different types of information that are helpful with financial aid listed here. You can also request more information by attending the session. We will be sending you information about Montana Western, but of course, if you have a friend or somebody that also wants to request information, you can do that here. And then for certificates and degrees, this is where you can see a list of all of our 4-year programs, 2-year programs, certificates, things of that nature. And then this is very interactive. So if you're a biology major, you can click on biology, you can see more information about the biology program, and you can even scroll down to the bottom and see the classes that you would need to take for this degree. You can click on the classes and see course descriptions. So like I say, it's very interactive, so you can see a lot of in-depth information about our programs and areas of study. For more information about admissions, you can always click on admissions at the top and click on how to apply. This is where you can see information about our application process for freshmen, transfer, non-traditional, international, or readmit students. All you have to do is click on this and it'll take you to the more specific information. More information, of course, about cost of attendance. And then down here at the bottom, I always like to show this because we always put our important dates here. So like I said, we don't have any specific deadlines, but there are definitely important dates that you want to pay attention to. So if you're ever through the application process and you're curious, like, okay, when does new student registration start? Of course, we're going to send you information about that as we get a little closer to those dates. But if you want to be proactive and kind of check those dates out ahead of time, you can always come to the admissions page and you can see those dates listed here. Also, you can see more information about athletics, students' life. If you want to see information about our resident hall rooms, you can always go to the residence life page. You can scroll down and actually click on resident hall options and amenities. You can see the different types of rooms that we have, what's in the rooms, descriptions, and then you can also learn more about each hall. So if you want to learn more about Matthews Hall, you can see the RAs and hall directors, and you can see pictures of resident hall rooms. So that way you can kind of see what your living style will be like. So any questions at all? All right, I don't think there's any questions. Also, I want to share with you my contact information, so that way if you do think of any questions beyond today, at the top of our webpage, you can always click on directory, and then I'm always the second one listed. My name's Matt Allen, and so you can see my phone number here, you can see my email address. Please feel free to reach out to me. I would love to help connect you with Montana Western and be your point of contact on campus. Even if you have questions that are not admissions related, please feel free to start with me. Shoot me an email, give me a phone call. If I don't have the answers, I'll definitely get you in touch with who does. And so, yeah, definitely use me as a resource. Myself, my staff, we're here to help you through this process. So please use us as an asset. Like I say, we're here to help you through the process as much as possible, and get you admitted and get you into your courses and making sure that you're having a great experience on campus. So. All right. I don't think that there's any questions. All right. Well, if there's no questions, I think we could probably end the session early. And so, but like I said, if you do have any questions, you definitely know how to get in touch with me. And like I said, I hope you enjoyed hearing more about Montana Western and kind of our unique approach to our scheduling and some of the opportunities that we have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Matt, for that presentation and all the information about Montana Western. Just going to share a goodbye slide here. To our attendees, I want to say thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We appreciate any feedback you can provide. This was just one of many sessions being hosted, so please be sure to sign up for any additional sessions at college2careerfairsconnect.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all the other session recordings at college2careerfairsconnect.org. Thanks so much. Have a nice night, everyone.